At the NCI here in Bethesda, Maryland, we have a lot of interest in rare GU tumors because it has often been an area that just hasn't been studied and hasn't had access to the drugs, the exciting new drugs that we have now for other GU tumors, specifically bladder cancer, which is the main tumor type that I treat and I do research in. I think it's important to see if there's a strong preclinical rationale in order to give these patients with rare tumors some of the standard treatments that we're using for other for standard urothelial carcinoma or standard kidney cancer. I think a lot of these agents can potentially be repurposed, especially they're so active in standard GU tumors. I think it would be important to test the efficacy in these rare tumors. So I wanted just to start off saying I do have a trial that's enrolling through the cooperative group. It's called the ICONIC study, and it has a lot of rare GU tumor cohorts. We have, for example, several bladder cancer cohorts, specifically squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder. So it's just pure squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder. We have small cell carcinoma of the bladder. We also have plasmacytoid, sarcomatoid urothelial carcinoma. We have kidney cancer cohorts, including collecting duct and renal medullary carcinoma, and we have penile cancer cohorts. We also have a bone-only cohort where patients can have any histology but have bone-only disease. That's a rare population of patients. And we also have a urethra cohort where they can be multiple different histologies. It could be urothelial carcinoma, it could be an adenocarcinoma, clear cell, it could be a squamous carcinoma. So that's open, and that is giving a triplet combination of cabozantinib, nivolumab, and ipilimumab, and that's based on a phase 1 trial where we saw a lot of activity in these rare tumors. In addition to bladder cancer and kidney cancer, where we saw a nice amount of activity, we also saw activity in these rare tumors. So anyway, so now I want to talk about the 3 trials for rare tumors that were trials in progress at ASCO 2024. The first one is the SMART study. And the SMART study is a study of sacituzumab govitecan for patients with rare GU tumors. It's given either alone or in combination with atezolizumab. And the rare tumors that are included are adenocarcinoma of the bladder, small cell carcinoma of the bladder, squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder, penile cancer, and renal medullary carcinoma. And we do have some preclinical data showing that TROP2 is expressed in these tumors, and we're also doing efficacy studies in vitro and in vivo studies of using these models for these rare tumors. We think that there will be clinical efficacy for this study. So the second study I wanted to talk about is the LASER study. So the LASER study is a study of lurbinectedin. This is specifically for patients with neuroendocrine bladder cancer, and lurbinectedin can be given either alone or in combination with avelumab for patients not only with small cell bladder cancer, but also any kind of high-grade neuroendocrine tumor. And lurbinectedin is a novel alkylating agent, and it has accelerated approval in small cell lung cancer. So it makes sense to test this as a second-line treatment for patients with small cell bladder cancer or high-grade neuroendocrine tumors. So that trial is ongoing right now. And then lastly, we have the e-virtual study, and that's a study of enfortumab vedotin with or without pembrolizumab. So the patient's already gotten a checkpoint, then they would just get enfortumab vedotin alone. If they haven't, then they would get enfortumab vedotin plus pembrolizumab. So there's two different cohorts, and that one enrolls patients with adenocarcinoma of the bladder or urachal tumors, also squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder, and treatment refractory germ cell tumors. So those are the three trials that are enrolling patients right now. All a little bit different. So starting off with the antibody drug conjugates, we have the SMART study that has sacituzumab govitecan that has SN38 as the payload. That particular agent has been shown to be active in certain types of tumors, and there's a strong rationale for treating some of these rare tumors have rare histologies that are common in other primary tumor types. For example, colon cancer is commonly has an adenocarcinoma tumor-like. So I think there's strong rationales for using the antibody drug conjugates that have active payloads. And the target is the next question, right? Because the antibody drug conjugates, you have to not only is the payload important, is that particular payload active in this particular type of tumor, but also does the tumor express the target, so then the drug can actually get into the tumor. And there is some preliminary data, be it small, that a lot of these targets are expressed in these rare tumors, although not to the level that they are expressed in other more common tumors, such as urothelial carcinoma. We do have right now a large data bank of rare tumors where we're testing this prospectively, testing these targets, not only of Nectin-4 and Trop-2, which are the targets for enfortumab vedotin and sacituzumab govitecan, but also testing other targets for other antibody drug conjugates to see if there's a rationale for testing these antibody drug conjugates in these rare tumors. So we also have tumor models, in vivo tumor models that we are growing tumors in and testing these drugs to also further understand the biology and why they respond in certain cell types and not in others. So a lot of work right now being done in rare GU tumors. And a lot of time we follow the paradigm for that specific cell type. So for example, for the laser study, we are giving lurbinectedin, and we know that lurbinectedin has had activity specifically in small cell lung cancer. So we use a lot of the small cell lung cancer regimens in small cell bladder cancer. So, but there's no prospective data. There has been some retrospective data showing some efficacy, but I think prospective trials are really hard to conduct, and we're in a very special place here at the NCI where we get a lot of referrals for rare tumors, and we have also collaborations with a lot of other academic institutes that send us patients. So we are in a position to run a prospective trial testing these agents that are used in other tumor types in these rare GU tumors.